Let me adjust the light. So, I'm sorry, I walked into a car door. I'm going to share some important things that's happening in my life. Let me bring it here. So, my goal, like I'm going to try to do at least one video per week. Okay, so I'm going to talk about three things which my teacher says. My teacher's name is Sri Nityananda Paramashivam. People targeted him and people hurt his cause. And same thing, it almost looks like history repeats itself. So he was chased out of India by all these lying people who are media mafia and people who ganged up against him. And the good people never supported him because I think they were fearful for speaking up. And afterwards, originally same thing happens to Shiva, and I think he was beaten by a king, and the beating was felt by the whole universe. Same thing, he had a gag order. Oh, the whole universe is wearing a gag. It is so hilarious. So, that being said, what is my role? I actually am a clairvoyant. I have said it many times. My logo, you could see the logo that has Sri Antra with dark green and light green was a design I made when Varahi appeared in my presence as a vision, and I was awake. I was not sleeping, and she asked me to. She put her hands on her heart. She had a suit on, gray suit on, and she had a durba grass in her hand. And I was puzzled because usually when people wear suit, they don't have obvious jewelry like that. And when I questioned her, she wanted to honor me because I do always Sri Antra shirts, and this is one of my Sri I designed for Lakshmi, and this. Uh, so Varahi asked me to redesign it for her, and I'm going to put it a little bit so you guys can see. So I told her, Mom, I don't like red, yellow colors, which is like traditionally Varahi's Entra, and I always call all the mother spirits Mom. And she said, do it the way you like. So I took the Durba grass, which we did homam that day for Varahi, and I took the green palette and the dry palette and we redesigned it and it became my logo. So that is Varahi's Entra and it is surrounded by mantra. So you can look at my channel. And before that, I think my original teacher is Mahalakshmi herself. And through Lakshmi, I was introduced to my first teacher, who is Grandmaster Chavakuksui. He's Ram Avatar. And then my mom, uh, I think my real birth mom, she died in 1997. After she died, she told me the purpose of my life to understand longing and to release it in me and others. And then I started doing Manotapas. And that's how Lakshmi came into my life because Kavir Nivashni, who's in Pune, she actually appears to anybody who does Manotapas. That is, in mind, I created a space and I started praying to her, and she appeared to me and she gave me a darshan as, Kali, Black Lakshmi. And citron in one hand, other hand, uh, like a prosperity bowl, like filled with the nourishments, and she guided me into uh, understanding my pathways and to work with her. And through that, when I encountered Grandmaster Chokutsui, he revealed to us that he is Avatar Ram. And as usual, he went to India and nobody respected him. He has Grandmaster Chokuksui's GMCKS ashram in Pune, which is all with tree and truck on the ceiling. So through the pyramid space, you can potentiate. And when Varahi came into my life, the purpose she said is that she wanted honor that I was working with Sri Entra, which I started in 2004. And she said she is the minister. What do you call them? She is like the portal that lets you go into the Sri Yantra. I didn't know that. And then one of the priests finally revealed the concept to me. The Sri Yantra has two ways to enter from the earth, like through the water element or through the space, ether and time space as a fire element. And I will discuss that with people who are interested in learning about it further. And when Varahi came into my life, I started praying to Rudra, and Rudra introduced me to Swami Nityananda. So, but in 2000, when I opened my door to spiritual life, Swamiji already contacted me mentally, telepathically, and he says we are all supposed to work together. I said I was a little scared. He says to come back when I'm ready. And I didn't know who this person was, obviously. So after Varahi's encounter, I became more interested in understanding what is Varahi's energy about. And through that, I went to India on a pilgrimage. And that's when I encountered the prayer threads, Aranakaira, right? So I trademarked it as prayer threads, and I think that opened an energy door uh, through that Kala Bhairava as Rudra entered my life, and he introduced me to Swamiji. And when I went there in 2016, December, I went in person and I met Swamiji, and I made just like andal, like a garland, and he wore it for me for 4.5 hours, just like in real Sri Valibutur. There is a family that does uh, the parrot, and in that parrot they put like he it takes him 4 hours, 4.5 hours to make, and Rangabannar uh, wears it for 4.5 hours, and it apparently doesn't wilt exactly the time it took him to absorb that. Okay, then after I encountered Swamiji, um, I think our spirits entangled in person. That is like, see, before I knew, but then I could see who it was. And I think he guides me more now. So then, because of the Andal, like, that connection, I was given a boon by Swamiji, and he asked me to ask whatever I wanted. And the interesting thing was, is he opened up because I told him I really wanted to work with Lakshmi. So he released Samrajya Lakshmi for us. I don't know whether he can reset the time, go back and like release it. But anyway, the original Samrajya Lakshmi script existed only up to 213 32 pages or something in Tanjore. Swamiji put together 512 pages and he released it. He does tremendous work, and unfortunately, not even a single person or a channel in India praises him because it's such a jealous crowd in India, the channels, that is new channel. But in YouTube, there are like millions of people following Swamiji, and they attempted and tried to assassinate him multiple times. And if you see Sun TV, they actually threw a gas bomb at him, locked him up, telecast live his death, and they even predicted he died. And shame on them for doing that. But he escaped and he left India, and now he created Sri Kailasa. And I wrote to him, Swamiji, please accept Lakshmi part of us. So he changed it to Sri Kailasa, which I like. So that time, he sent out a worldwide request to give protection for him and his devotees, and I chose to offer him everything I had. In turn, he gave everything back, and he told me I'll be the embassy of Sri Kailasha, and that's the way I started this project. And I have a Martani Pule. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like, on the background you could see, uh, that is the Lakshmi Ganesh Intra, and the tree, if you see on the background, you could see Ganesh. So this is Ganesh portal, and it also has the portal for Panduranga and Lakshmi, and because they came to me as well, and Swamiji changed my name. My name used to be Vasu, and so Vasudha, and he changed it to the spelling Basudha. So Da, this is a hermitage. So it is like Ramana Maharishi had Adi Ashram, that is beyond religion. And so we developed a program called Positive Anonymous 12-step program. And it is like how you have Shatram, right? Kshetram Uvacha. So with the name change, Vasudha Dameshwari, Sriranga Dameshwari, that is Dhamam, is to always be at the feet of the Lord. So Sri Ranga Dameshwari, because Ranganatha's foot is what Lakshmi chose. I chose to be in Holliston and Vasudhameshwari, and like Ativaradar, this tree, Dhamam, uh, I think Padapa, they call it Padapa. That is Padam, Pada Puja you do, right? So Padapa is evolution of the tree to the next level, Padapa, to become the spirit, or rather the guiding force. And when the churning was done in the ocean between the Suras and Asuras, Lakshmi comes out, right? And that's how they meet. And the minute she comes out, she has this beautiful lotus, and she goes straight and she marries Vishnu. And there are multiple forms of Vishnu, it seems. Actually, I love Dushan Sridhar's discourses on Bhagavatam. It is so lovely to watch him. So he says there were like this multiple avatars of Vishnu, but she chooses Aktivardhar, meaning like the form of tree, and so she gets married to Varadhar. So So that's the same way. I chose to marry the tree, which is Vishnu, like a commitment. Marriage means what? Commitment. And Jagannatha, Jagannath or Puri Jagannath, right? He always have a living disciple as a wife. So Swami said that I invite who can make a commitment. So I feel as a Vasudhameshwari, I'll make a commitment to guide this as a tree temple. So that's a main spiritual path I'm doing. And I'm ordained to follow the Rishi path by Swamiji. And Ativaradar in turn, actually, it's a very nice story about Kushel. Okay, Kushel is always very, very poor. So he goes and he gives flattened rice to Sri Krishna. This is all like stories I'm going back and forth. And the reason he was called Kushel is because in ancient India, if you combine two clothes together and wear, you're considered poor. There is stitched cloth is poverty, it seems. I didn't know this. Like it is so cute, like some of the things you learn. So when Ati Baradar came into my life, or Barada came into my life, he asked me to wear robes and robes of green uh, shawl. Okay. So originally Varahi gave me the yantra, right? And then Varada, the way it happened was last year, November, Lakshmi took off on this. I didn't know Vararoha means Saptami Vararoha, seventh day of lunar cycle. Vararoha means Lakshmi is capable of riding a flying elephant. Okay, she's that strong. So she took off for in some hurry to go there, and she dropped me off with Vishnu to babysit. So Vishnu became my babysitter, and that's when he said for me to go get like robes of green for future. So I bought like 16 yards or big material. So I wear so this is one of my spirit robes I wear, and my clothes and all extra t-shirts. And then I wear because I asked Swamiji to do Nitya Kumbh Mela, so I wear water for my forehead or essential it's pretty wear, like whatever it is. And then so that the reason I didn't realize why I was given this choice of robes, and that's when I was revealed by Dushin Sridhar again, is that ancient Indians, when you ordain, right, you get like a prayer shawl, right? You get a prayer shawl, and when you don't stitch it and wear, it's considered prosperity. So I think Ativardhar gave me prosperity, and then Swamiji, in addition, because I took him in when he needed the most, just like Shankaracharya, who got a gooseberry and gave them tons of money. So Swamiji blessed me with prosperity through Swarnagarshana Bhairava celebrations. And then I came across this Lakshmi Ganesha mantra. You would see that in the background there. That is Lakshmi Ganesha mantra, this one. And so through that, Ganesh blessed me with prosperity again. And so he, he fell flat on the floor. He's like a baby god, so it made me laugh. And then I was given the option of picking any uh, coins I want, like diamond, and I was brought to this nice place, and I heard then through Dushyantridhar again that Vishnu wears the world in the eye of a dolphin, which is in his belly. Okay, And because of that, and plus the andal parrot and the person who gathers everything, he also gathers crow's gold, which is like a black rock. When you put in, when you dig the well, it seems it shines through the light, and they call it like black, being crow's gold because that rock is black in color, and that's what traditionally they use to make eyes. So third eye awakening and stuff, like so all the sacred ceremonies they use black rock. For some reason, I got like very enamored with that rock, so I wear it as my nose stand. Okay, so when I picked, I could see like all the heavens laughing, and they were joking like at my choice of the ornament I wear. And to honor Kalabhairava, because I chose ring, because Changi Kirpa they call it, right? And I have like multiple sacred jewelries and stuff. But my jewelry is very simple. I wear like I'm not a fancy person, so like I design my own like chain to wear. Anyway, why I'm saying all this is like, see, clairvoyantly, I'm working on my spiritual level. So it's so much fun, like ability to communicate with higher realm and stuff. So I have achieved personally what I wanted. And then I understood the other side. Really, there is no emotion. So what they wanted me first to release the longing, and then once I released, like I started working with because of Ramajan movie fight and stuff. I really wanted to bring Sita home because I felt like I couldn't heal that space in me where she was forced to leave her space. And then I learned she's considered Sita ki Rasoi, just a rolling pin. And through that, I got her blessing as well when I released that longing, because I think Ram suffered when she was gone under the tamarind tree. He was like a jatam for 16 years. He spent in isolation under a tamarind tree, and the tamarind tree was Lakshman, and then he has a water cremation or water burial spot, which means he joins Earth, right? Like Earth, which is Prithvi, which is Shita. So that part in me healed after Ram released that, and he told me he'll be my warrior, always he'll be guarding me. And plus, meeting Master Chawakutsui that completed in me. So when I finished that, again I watched Dushyant Sridhar, and he says the purpose in Narayaniyam, he reveals that the purpose of our birth is Dhamam. Dhamam, see, the longing, like also connotes similarly in Sanskrit. Dhamam, he said, is triple warmer. So the next one is near the end, which is Dhamam, which actually is influenced by three heats in our body. The first heat is environmental toxins, the second is physical toxins, and the third one is the higher intuitive, like misconceptions and perception distortions and stuff. So that is the level I'm working with. So each is a portal, because there are 43 portals you need to go through, and each has like you get good and bad exchanges, and you create the solution based on your highest awareness. And like God always guides us and resets that. So this is the spiritual path I'm on. So now Swamiji revealed there are three reasons uh, we need to work on ourselves. One is health. Our health is considered stable mood. If you have a difficulty stabilizing the mood, he says it's a simple question of undigested food. Heal the food, relationship will become normal. And what is wealth? Wealth, he says, is flexible time, ability to do anything you want in a space that is easy for you. So that is literally, right now we have all the time in the world, so there is no need to stress. So one thing I'm doing is Bitcoin trading, and I'm making pretty good living for myself. So I'm wealthy, I have flexible time, I have stable mood. The third one is relationship is something you can trust to watch out for each other. And that's the all as a universe working. Lakshmi is particular, what you think, what you speak, and what you act all has to be integrated, and then you're automatically prosperous. So that is the level the higher beings are watching us. Now let's get to the uh, I'm a physician, so I'm going to share some of the stuff I'm learning from cannabis industry because I work with a lot of herbs. Okay, and the reason I chose cannabis is Shiva. He's very fond of cannabis. He had like so many other stuff. But he chose 5 herbs as a sacred herb according to Vedas, which is cosmic law and order. And the first one is Darba. So Darba is the lineage of Sita herself. Love Kush, she gave Darba was her birth, right? Like she gave birth to Darba, and then Soma, which is Soma is considered house, and then barley, and then rice, like a version of rice. So it's brown rice. I don't know what the name they called it. And then the fifth herb is balm, which is the cannabis. So because of Shiva, I chose to work with cannabis, and cannabis is guiding me every day. The cannabinoids is present in India in moringa leaves, moringa like a drumstick. So you can use that as a replacement. My sister shared a recipe and we tested it here. We did a tincture, we were able to do CBG, which is like a stem cell of all cannabinoids. And once the cannabinoids are very rich in us, each hair follicles is capable of producing endocannabinoids, and that is the ecstatic state, anandamide. That's what they call it. So until then, like now, we need to keep putting. So the state, medical state, it's called methylated state, because the ATP produces this intense pleasant sensation in our body, cellular energy that is like so. Actually, I called it cellular orgasm, and my colleagues during the conference, orthomedical medicine, they teased me. They said, "Whatever you're drinking, we want that." So the spiritual high, if you understand how to get it, you would never even look for anything else. But it's such a beautiful thing because when the higher beings entangle with us, you can feel this high energy. So in cannabinoids, that's why I did this post. I share it with my patients too. There are two parts to it. One is the cannabinoid CBD and THC. So just like the plant, you first want to test your urine pH, and if it is 6.8 or below, we are acidic. So you need more CBD. If it is more than 7.4, we are alkaline. But the alkalinity is because kidney is trying to compensate for phase 2 detox by producing more ammonia, and it's pulling all the bones, so it's taking extra calcium from the bones to compensate for the electrolyte imbalance. That's why you'll get like little hard nodules with bones in it. So you really want to add vitamin C and THC to bring down the pH so the nutrients will absorb better. So Swamiji shared this in another way. I'm going to say it in my way. That is, around the eye, it's bioenergy. Okay. The bioenergy is reset by CBD. So at night, put bioenergy reset, CBD cream around the eye. That will go. The gallbladder points is all there. That's why they wear Rudramala, right? Like the Rudraksha when they do the sermon to reset those. Now, all the universe in Tamil Nadu, they split it into five land. See, Lakshmi and Sita and all are mother of lands. Tara, green Tara, right, and black Madonna, they all come from motherhood, which is our land. So they split it into mountain, forest, land, sea, and desert. So they call in Tamil Nadu Pancha Pakshi Shastra, like science of five birds. But what happened is they stole our scriptures, but unfortunately they didn't steal it completely. So they made it dove, dope personality scale. So dove, owl, peacock, eagle. So they left off the land bird for us. So in Panchapakshi Shastra, the bird of the mountain is peacock, the bird of the forest is owl, the bird of the land is rooster, the bird of the water is hamsa, swan, the bird of the desert is eagle. So the bird of the land, the way it engages through aromatherapy. And because the we are as so clean bija padamektikam shaktistu bhuvaneshwari, as our body parts, which is guarded by Bhairav, Shakti was split into 51 sacred spaces, and Ekavaneshwari. As a single forest, the will rebuild itself, and that starts in Kumbakonam, right? Ekavaneshwari temple, and that's where Kamadevi give birth to the Ekavaneshwari temple. So, which is again goes back to the purge. The Kamadevi comes from the ocean churning. So that's exactly right now. The Pralaya is making us one world order, right? And then afterwards we are going to evolve. So that's the reason I'm telling you. So how do we reset the body parts is aromatherapy. So around the nostril, THC. We put THC, it'll take away the muscle memory, PTSD memory from the. So it's a very quick reset to reset the bioenergy and muscle memory. Muscle memory, the guardians are both Vishnu and Shiva. And interestingly, the isoprene, which is the unit of terpene, has both carbon and hydrogen. Carbon is Vishnu, which is the they call it Nara iron. That is, he's the one overlaying our life energy, and the hydrogen is breathing space. So when we inhale, we inspire, we become alive. The last breath we take is exhalation, expire, and we run out of time. Everything is time. The time is what in carbon mapping, right? Jangama, Jangamam, Deham, Jagan, Narayanotpavam. So wherever anything is live is carbon dated. Even fossils we can go back and see. So Vishnu is the carbon, Shiva is the hydrogen. Together when they dance, that creates life in us, right? And we are the energy. When the energy comes in, we become the energetic space, bioenergy. By being connected with the cosmic consciousness, we combine the bio memory, bioenergy, and muscle memory, and we become alive. And when we inspire not only our life and millions of life, that much cosmic energy we spread. So our whole purpose is to release us from this limited thinking to expand and influence as many people as possible so they can breathe easier. Astrology calls it Vatavarana. So that's what I wanted to share. I hope it was easy for you guys to follow. And this, I have been promising many of my patients I'll put it out so they'll understand and listen, and maybe you could replay it more. And that's what I am planning to do. So there is really no limitation. Remember, if you guys want money, I'm doing Bitcoin trading. I can teach you guys. There is the only thing for us to get rid of to go to the next level is take away the fear. There is no need to be afraid of anything in life, okay? And take away the greed because we have plenty to share. So, and anger is because of violence, inner violence and outer violence. So it's not about being vegetarian, Master Chaudhary, so you said. It's about being compassionate in our speech because it doesn't matter what you put in the body. That's what Shiva said, because the poison should not be spitted out. It doesn't matter what people give it to us. And this is like, the spiritual way I'm talking. Now I'm going to shift to how people are doing with this confined space is they Seth Godin did a very nice video. Seth Godin is a marketing person, Sethtgodin. What he said is 50% of the people and usually doesn't have really a lot to contribute, and that's why they never had a mic in the past. But right now everybody can say what they want, and because of that we are producing people who are a product of their problems. So they are not looking for solution, they want something to complain about, so the solution appears. But when the solution appears, they are not happy. That's exactly what they want. So he says, ignore the person who's complaining and just keep doing what you want so you can be ahead and be happy. So that's the number one. The second video, was very interesting, I watched, and this was done by Behind the Brand Brian Elliott with Seth Godin. So on the YouTube you can watch. And I love Brian Elliott. His mom apparently gave him for adoption. And he has just sweet little boy smile and wanting to be accepted and stuff. And apparently his mom didn't want him back in his life eventually when he traced that. But he does admit he has his own adoptive parents, nice family and stuff. And you know what? I think kudos to him for being very, very courageous by being vulnerable on the YouTube channel. So, and I'm so grateful he's doing what he is doing. And now, the second video I watched by Behind the Brand Brian with Simon Sinek, and this topic is about the main theme Simon Sinek talks about is usually people would do whatever they are good at, and they say how it works and why you need to be involved. He says reversing it and understanding why you're doing what you're doing, the core, and then how to do it, and when. So by doing this way, Apple created a very different approach. So he says people are always going to ask you to prove yourself. But he says that is when, the what question, right? What, how, why. He says Ignore them. You never need to prove yourself because people will always mock you. Operation Mockingbird was created by CIA, and they created two group of people. One trying to pretend to help your cause, one who would always oppose your cause, and eventually making you not to have any self-love. So self-hatred, self-denial, self uh, uh, doubts, SDHD, that's what Sri Nityananda calls. So Sinek says, disregard all that and understand why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because then you can do it really better. For me, I grew up very poor, and because of that, I want to make money a way to sustain my life so I can do whatever I want without trying to get paid. And I love being a doctor, but I don't want to take money from people to be a doctor. That's why I got involved in trading. I've been trading from 2000. I do stocks, options, futures, forex. I wrote a book called E-Currency Exchange. I put in $25,000 when DX in one came, became DX Gold. They were centered in Vanuatu, and I became a merchant level. I blew my $25,000, but I felt like if I had to go to college and learn all that, I would rather spend that money. So I didn't think of it as waste. But when cryptocurrency came, it was exactly like a perfect dream, like what I was working on. And now Bitcoin officially, last Friday, Supreme Court of US said it is a currency. So they equated it with money, and that blew open a big door for us. And the other thing that came out, even that's been evolving after that, is big currency is its own market. Okay, Ethereum was like another earthquake like thing. So Ethereum was the build many cryptocurrency was building. But either today, tomorrow, or day after, I don't know, like exact date, there's a new coin coming called Elrond, Elrond. And I think the symbol for that is ERD. It's a cosmic currency because it's going to be based on a very different platform. And already you could see it, if you buy Bitcoin and you're transferring between different places, it used to take validation. Like I have seen Celsius do it in 24 hours. Crypto is doing it in probably 3 4 hours. But after the Elrond coins were released, I have seen my account getting debit debited within 30 minutes. It's like amazing. In 2 seconds, my validation comes in. And because I got involved with cryptocurrency, why did I get involved, right? Like the first reason I said it's because of poverty. I wanted a source of income that is flexible so I can do what I want. That is number one. And that is my simple man's daughter's hand. Because my dad never had money to buy gold for my mom. So I chose not to ever wear gold. Then I got married, my husband, and he says he doesn't want my crappy lifestyle. So this is rich man's wife. I love both hands, okay? It doesn't matter what I wear. And like I said, I can wear a chain and be happy with metal because Shiva is considered. mm the reason I actually chose this after Rudra came, I came across a very specific seal, and yeah, I found it at a Buddhist store. This seal, you know, has like a writing on the bottom. When I put it in my heart, my whole body went into vibration. And in Rudram, the chant came on. Kulale Karmare Bishchavo Namo Namo. And that's when I realized God is my potter, God is my blacksmith. I didn't know that. So that's why Anvil, the metallurgical tool, is considered Shiva because he can mold us even if we are rigid. He can form us when we are like clay. He can create things, kuta kesha, follow clay pot, so he'll fill us with cosmic consciousness. So I love the spiritual explanation too. So to go back to the wine, I have a lot of homeless patients. I actually work with drug addiction. I'm a recovery coach. So I in Florida, my father has a property. He always was broke, so me and my sister decided to put together energy and effort. And so I bought the land, and she contributed to the property. And so together we always want our father to be okay, or rather, have a place to stay. But when I look at homeless people, the main issue, because one day our toilets were not working, was you don't have public shower and toilets. So I was looking into options. That's when I came across crypto. And crypto has a card, a membership card. You can start with $250 and you will get a regular card with 2% cash back. But when you do the commitment and staking, 50, they call it mercantile commercial coins, MCO coins, commercial bank, MCO bank. They're based in Hong Kong. So I don't know whether it's Hong Kong or Singapore. You might be able to validate it. Crypto.com. My website for crypto.com is beblissful.space. That's what Swamiji always ordains us. Beblissful.space. And with the crypto card, you can get a airport lounge first class entry. So you can be a nomad capitalist. I love that guy who does the show. So you can be homeless but still maintain your dignity by going into the nearest airport, can have a shower, and take care of your basic needs, and you never need to have a home. Make money with bitcoins. So that is my why for crypto. Now all the things I've researched, my mining crypto.com is my favorite website to do trading, and I upgraded this year all money I made to 500 MCOs, which is the second level, or rather third level, I should say. So I got a Jade card, and with that, I became an insider. They give you a private club option, and when ERD was released, I think they released it last week. I forgot the exact day, but oh, it was Prathama because Agastya said the 16th, showed us our time is 16th wealth. Okay, it's a hidden time between the lunar cycle when it ends, whether it's new moon or full moon. And Prathama, the first crescent moon comes, the gap in between for 1 hour, they showed us up. And when I asked Swamiji about my specific Shodasa mantra, he says, follow your source. My source is Lakshmi. So she gives it to me. The minute I ask her, here, you got it. And so Agastya became my friend, I should say. And Agastya's teacher is actually, there is a song about her. She, her name is Saila Putri, and she wears white robe, and she looks very young, like a little kid, like 10, 11 years old. And in Tamil, there is a song called Chinnanjiru Pen Pole சிற்றாடை இடை உடுத்தி சிவகங்கை குளத்தருகே ஸ்ரீதுர்கை சிரித்திருப்பாள். It means she's like a little girl. She wears like a little robe, and she will be hanging out by the water body next to, where Shiva's abode is, and she will be laughing He talks about Durga, which is all this sacred energy of divine consciousness grouped together to be perceived as a little girl, because she has like this rolling laughter, just like the waterfall. Like you could feel the laughter. So I understood from that, like, from the 16th phase, this time, the Swamiji said he's going to open a stargate, like a portal connects us. And I saw the tree really walk, like, come into life. And through that, I was given a special insight into this energy, which is going to, like, guide me in future. And I think that's how I got this whole project that fell into place. My why I'm in Bitcoin and stuff, because originally I didn't understand the connections of why I was getting involved. The why is because I wanted to understand how to be prosperous and live with dignity, and that's how the Bitcoin market opened up. And when Bitcoin market opened up, I honored MCO by giving them the best possible chance by putting in 500 MCO. In turn, they honored me back by opening the private access to ERD coins, and I was immediately be able to purchase. I purchased 30,000 ERD coins, and when I opened and purchased, the opening price was 16 cents, and right now it is running at 26 cents, and it's going to hit, they said, like Bitcoin, a huge market, because when they release it, they said it's just like how DSL to internet transition by Wi-Fi came. Same way the Ethereum is going to be overtaken by ERD platform. So watch out for that. They call this new platform Cosmos. Like, that's why Atom, ATOM, ADA coin, and Kava, these are all going to be the future coins that is going to be equally important. And ESPN is coming up with its own coin for uh, gaming. So I think we have tremendous potential in cryptocurrency. So I hope I covered everything I wanted to speak to you guys about. And I think I went from one end to another end. So I covered, like, my spiritual end, my precision reason, and my wealth with cryptocurrency. And you can look for my book. I'm going to be working on e-currency exchange upgrade. Like, originally I wrote about digital exchange market. Now, because I'm into cryptocurrency, I'm going to do that. I actually originally was doing stock options, futures, and stuff, but it always ended up one guy losing and another guy making money. And I really did not want to be in those markets, so I did dollar cost averaging instead of, like, making money quick. I consistently built somebody's company or value, and then I took the dividend. So most of the stocks I work with is called limited partnership pipeline stocks, which will allow you to have dividend. So I stay away from regular stock market. But I did make money in regular, like, with dollar cost averaging. Every week I'll put in $20 or something. With cryptocurrency, I'm doing the same way, $10 every day I'm investing, and I'm building my portfolio. And if you need anything more, or want me to talk about a specific topic, please share it with me. And as a final thought, also, cannabinoids, if you are going to do vape pens or anything, do CBD, wait for 45 minutes, and do the THC. My cannabis online magazine is nobodiesbusiness.club, NOBODIES BUSINESS.club. And for cryptocurrencies, be blissful dot space. Uh, and my spiritual teachings which I follow with Swami Nityananda. His website is kailasa.org, KAILAASA.org. And thank you so much. Thanks for listening.